Kwame Nkrumah, gone. Patrice Lumumba, gone. Thomas Sankara, gone. Julius Nyerere, gone. Jomo Kenyatta, gone. Samora Machel, gone. Steve Biko, gone. Samora Machel, gone. Steve Biko, gone. Haile Selassie, gone. Nelson Mandela, gone. Amilcar Cabral, gone. Africa, protect Traore, let no shadow steal his glory. From the Nile to Soweto, we mourn and pray, don't take another prophet away. Africa, protect Traore, protect, protect, protect. It's our only message from Haiti to Accra, we still say gone, gone. Toussaint Louverture, gone. Jean-Jacques Dessalines, gone. Nanny of the Maroons, gone. Marcus Garvey, gone. Malcolm X, gone. Harriet Tubman, gone. Frederick Douglass, gone. Jose Marti, gone. They lit fires in the night, they gave their flesh, they paid the price. But we still march in stolen chains. If we forget, it's us to blame. So let the wind across the land call their names with lifted hands. Let Traore know he's not alone. Let the blood of prophets make him strong. Come, protect not already, let no shadows fear his glory. From beloved, that's what it is to me. Less than say protects us. Africa, protect, let no bullet end this story. From Dakar to Kingston Bay, let's protect, protect, trade. From Harlem down to Zimbabwe, we still cry out their names, gone.
Welcome, welcome, Sankofa. Welcome to Sankofa, 180 degrees. Glad y'all can join us. We back at y'all once again, fam. Peace to y'all, man. What's going on with the family, man? Just want to tell y'all, man. Listen, man, it's really important that we do these. You know, we participate in our history, man. Children's book read, very important, man. That we bring the babies out, man, and get this history, right? It's very, very important that we do that, family. These people are rewriting history right in our face. And we have to, we got to combat that. And by doing, you know, and by doing that, we got to teach our history. We got to show what our history is about, man. What is what it was, teach our history, you know. Don't let them rewrite it. Like I said, we don't want to be the ones, or want our kids to be the ones, right? like us running around here trying to figure out ancient history about Kemet and and all these ancient civilizations. Our kids are gonna be running around here trying to figure out if slavery was even real, right? And that's gonna wipe out the ancient history. They just gonna be worried about is slavery real? You know what I mean? Let alone that we had a rich history before slavery. Um, anyway, family, just bring the babies by. Get some of this real history. We got free books that we giving out free, don't cost you nothing. Um, all you gotta do is participate in the book read. We put you on the on the wheel, and if you win, we spin the wheel, and if you win, hey, you get the free book. And they're really good books, good quality books. Um, there ain't no playbooks. These real books about real history, about real people, real events. All right, fam. So just join us, man. And then join us every Friday. Every Friday at 7 o'clock p.m. It's open mic. Talk about whatever's on your mind. You know, current events, ancient events, whatever you want to talk about. We out here. Um, and then every Sunday, every single Sunday, we're here at 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock. We here. We here. Uh, and You can join us at 2 p.m. for usually we have presentations and something going on, some kind of lecture, something going on. All right. So you'll like it. You really like it. Join this family. You really gonna love it, man. Um, we got a lot of information. We got a good panel up here, man. That's really knowledgeable about a lot of different things, not just one or two things, right? So we really we're versatile on this platform, man. So, and this platform is for everybody, man. Come and join us. Come on and join us, man. You know, uh, just make sure you bring your tough skin and and your information. Hey, fam, what's going on with my brothers, man? Peace to you, peace to you, Unc, and peace to the Queen Carrie, man. I hope Carrie's doing all right. Shout out to Carrie, another important member to our panel. You know what I mean? She's really good woman, man. Peace to the Queen, peace to the King. What's going on with you, Unc? Peace.
My man, what to do? Hey man,
Oh,
so Jamie laid it down, man. They're just trying to fuck up the whole damn program with the with our history, and it's up to us to put it out there. Dig deep, put it out there instead of dealing with the surface stuff that was introduced to us and forced on us. And even though we have history with some of it in the ancient times, just saying, come study up, man. Let's get together and breathe together, man. Today we're going to be reading about Naeem Akbar, finishing up that last chapter. And we got Eon, Gerald on. Carrie's doing good too, just handling some business. And Jamie, thank you again for bringing providing the platform all the time.
for sure, man. And then to the other our high power panel, to my brother E. Peace to you.
Power.
Yeah, that's E. Peace to you, E.
Peace, peace to the family. Peace to the family. Queen Carrie, sister, um, as well, man. I've been in and out for a while, so I'm transition myself, but
Hold on, E.
always
E,
pleasure.
you breaking up, E. E, you breaking up.
I'm sorry, always a pleasure. I've been in and out for a while,
I don't know, man.
transitioning myself, but always,
There you go.
I can hear her.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, just transition. Like I said, I'm in the rural area, so y'all gotta.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the rural area, so I can hear. I can hear, but sometimes depending on where I'm at, my voice might come in a little slow.
Okay.
Bet we got you.
All right.
Okay. And then we, you
Gerald in
know,
the house.
What to
like
know?
that.
What to know, fam?
Yeah,
How y'all doing? Happy to be here. Gonna finish up this book tonight, and that'll be it. So happy to be here with the fella, Black Power, Black Love.
that's
It's
right. Hey,
been a
go ahead.
beautiful journey through that book, man.
Yeah, man. And we're gonna have to definitely we gotta we're gonna get another book. We're gonna do another book, right? You know, shortly after this one. All right. We yeah, because I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. That's a you know, and I remember E said this a long time ago.
Yeah, you sure did.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he
Yes,
said it a
sir.
long time ago. I remember it, man, years ago he said it.
Good as happening. Good as happening, brothers.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, man, family. So yeah. Anyway, we're gonna jump back on to let me get out of here. We're gonna jump back on to the brother Dr. Naeem Akbar, Know Thyself, chapter 5. Excuse me. And we're gonna finish this last chapter up, and um and then we're gonna talk about it, family. Um so here I'm gonna pull up the book so everybody can follow along. You don't have to have the book. Just check us out. We'll pull it up for you. All right. And we here. All right, fam. All right. So what you want me to kick it off or what?
Yeah, go ahead, and then I'll jump in.
Okay.
Unless Gerald wants to jump in, or either way.
All right. We
I know,
got
but I'm gonna
chapter
get,
5. Oh, okay. Say again.
no, I'm just saying I'm gonna get some anyway.
No,
Okay.
y'all ain't I read it.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
All right. Okay. So we got like I said, Dr. Naeem Akbar, Know Thyself, chapter 5. Learn to educate ourselves. This is it, King. This is what this is, family. Learn to educate ourselves.
That's it.
Once we
That's
right,
it.
is that it? That's it.
That's it.
Page 55, family. Once we know what a real education is and understand what it's supposed to do, then an important question is, how do we learn to educate ourselves? One of the real problems that results from miseducation, remember that's one of the problems that results from miseducation. Gerald, right, Gerald? Gerald,
Alien education.
that's yeah. Hey, this my brother Gerald. He pushed this. This, huh? Right, Gerald?
Fact.
Facts. That's right.
Mm.
Is not only the absence of effective information. So misinformation, miseducation is not only the absence of effective information to empower ourselves, but not even to know how to go about the process of educating ourselves. As I have discussed above, the educational process that was designed for African Americans was never intended to prepare us for independence and self determination, but to perpetuate our servitude to people who already have the damn power. In the previous section, I have described what should be the content of an effective education for self knowledge. In this final section, I want to identify the methodology that should be used for the process of education ourselves. So he's going to give us the whole methodology, family, and that's important, man. The methodology, how'd you come to it, right? W. Curtis Banks is an important discussion describing the development of Black psychology identified a very similar problem to one that we have identified as existing in the education of African Americans. This problem was the failure of European American psychology to offer the kind of understanding and approach that would permit it to effectively improve the lives of Black people. Dr. Banks identified three critical methods in this development of Black psychology. These methods were deconstructionist, reconstructionist, and constructionist. Wow, check that out. These rather big terms have simple meanings and great importance to our learning of how to educate ourselves. Hey, that's important though. That's right. Deconstruction. The deconstructionist approach is intended to critique or identify the error and weakness found in the typical approaches of education for African Americans. Much of the preceding, hold on, discussion. Hold on, let me move this out the way, man. All right. Just let me start right here. The deconstructionist approach is intended to critique or to identify the error and weakness found in the typical approaches to education for African Americans. Much of the preceding discussion in this book has utilized the deconstructionist approach in its description of the limitations of the Euro-American approach to teaching non-European people. Even the concept of miseducation by Dr. Woodson, which has served as the foundation of much of our discussion, is based on this approach, which identified what is wrong with the educational experience of African American people. Even though the majority of our discussion has emphasized the flaws in this system as it impacts on African Americans, we have been careful to indicate that many of these flaws become assets in the process of bringing European American people into knowledge of themselves. Deconstruction is the necessary first step in the re-educational process of African Americans because of the extensive influence of European American methods and idea of education. Those methods and ideas, as we have noted, were intended to advance the self knowledge and power of people of European ancestry. The intention was never to educate people of non-European ancestry about themselves. It was stated in the legal documents that established segregation in the educational system that this system was not set up for non-white people in America. Not only was the system set up for white people only, for white only, non-white presence was not even welcome in the same building where education was going on, though such formal and legal segregation was not always enforced in the northern part of the United States. De facto segregation achieved the same exclusionary objective. This white-only educational system was never altered even when African Americans were admitted into the European American system. Here we go. Hence the reason why I am homeschooling my kids. As a result, much of what we have learned educationally is based on methods and ideas intended to advance the self-knowledge of European descended people. Most of these ideas must be deconstructed. We prefer this term from Dr. Banks rather than destroyed because it permits us to make a systematic analysis of what is usable and what is not, what is included for the educational advancement of European people, and what is actual fact. The deconstruction process permits us to pick up and choose based on our redefinition of education in order that we may understand and the educational process that European people have used for themselves, and at the same time identify those things that have inhibited our educational development. Most of the discussions by African American scholars intent upon improving the education of their people in the last quarter of the 20th century have been primarily of the deconstructionist nature. African Americans and other ethnically and gender distinct scholars who have taken up this challenge have basically contended that the educational ideas in the American educational system have excluded the non-European contributions and approaches to understanding the world. These numerous scholars have argued for Black studies, Native American studies, Latino studies, Asian studies, and women's studies as an effort to address these distortions in Eurocentric, male-centered approach found in most educational settings. They have argued, as has been repeatedly suggested in this volume, that education in America has been built around a set of goals which advance white male supremacy. The deconstructionists must address these limitations in traditional European American education. Many African and African American thinkers, such as Malef Ashanti, Yosef Ben Yakinen, John Henry Clark, Sheikh Anta Diop, Asa Hilliard, John G. Jackson, Malana Karenga, Wade Nobles, and Ivan Van Sertima, Chancellor Williams, and many others have consistently addressed this historical omission that have excluded us from the world stage. The Europeanizing and whitening of Africa, particularly the Nile Valley civilization, has been a major point of interest in their discussions. The deconstructionists have attempted to discard those distortions of history, which have failed to address the contributions of African people. Similarly, the early deconstructionists from the first half of this century, such as Carter G. Woodson, J.A. Rogers, George G.M. James, and others, sought to point out how African people had been omitted as contributors to human progress. Deconstruction is the necessary first step towards the education of African people who have already been miseducated by European American educational system. Since so much of our information, even the language that we use, has come to us through European systems, we must carefully scrutinize the information that we are using. It is critically necessary to realize that something is wrong with our training before we can even begin to address what is needed for our re-education. When we have been miseducated, we have been implanted with the defense of what has been learned. It may be possible to raise some occasional questions about the information that we have attained, but it is extremely difficult for a person to acknowledge a rather comprehensive flaw in their learning experiences. It is like trying to appreciate the concept of color when one is genetically colorblind. The Eurocentric educational system has so thoroughly excluded realities about people of color that we are often handicapped in our ability to see non-white accomplishment. This has infected us with a kind of academic uh, color blindness, and we don't even know that we are. From this point of view, many of the uneducated or poorly educated offer the least resistance to the need for deconstruction. Perhaps this is why the radical reform advocated by important African American community leaders such as Marcus Garvey and Elijah Muhammad appealed to this group of minimally educated. The so-called marginal members of the African American overwhelmingly populated uh, uh, Marcus Garvey and Elijah Muhammad's self-help movements. It is equally interesting to note that the strongest resistance to the call for independent thought, self-determination, and independent education came from those who were entrained the most. Elijah Muhammad proclaimed, "My people should get an education which will benefit their own people and not the education and not, I'm sorry, people and not an education adding to the storehouse of their teacher." It says, we need education, but an education which removes us from the shackles of slavery and servitude. Get an education, get an education, but not an education that leaves us in an inferior position and without a future. Get an education, but not an education that leaves us looking to the slave master for a job. Of course, Elijah Muhammad received the same kind of opposition from the highly miseducated that Marcus Garvey received from representatives of the education establishment, such as W.E.B. Du Bois. Dr. Du Bois eventually adopted many of the perspectives of Garvey after going through the deconstruction process himself. Right. This kind of opposition is certainly expected from people who have not undergone the deconstruction process. This is why the first step in learning to educate ourselves require us to go through this process of looking at what we have learned, identifying its flaws, and eliminating those parts which perpetuate our miseducation. Once we have become miseducated, we believe that we have learned and become proud defenders of its truth, even if it requires us to argue for our own inferiority, as many of our African American scholars have done. Of course, they do not claim that they are inferior, but suggest their superiority to be directly proportional to the degree to which they have internalized and acted upon European American standards of excellence and competence. Once they have gone through the process of deconstruction, they are better equipped to purge themselves of the self-destructive ideas that fail to empower them and compel them instead to maintain white empowerment. Want me to keep going or what? I can't hear you on mute yourself.
Yeah, I'll start up at the next header.
Okay, reconstruct. Okay, so
Yeah, I'll take it from here. I'll take it from here.
okay.
All right. Let me pick this up. So the reconstruction approach is the next stage in this process of learning to educate ourselves. The reconstructionist is devoted to correcting the errors in Euro-American education and rebuilding it into a model more sensitive and relevant to the previously excluded group. The approach of the methodology goes one step beyond the criticism and description of the problems found in the deconstructionist approach. and begin the process of trying to build a corrected educational system. Though it is still building from the context of what is wrong, the emphasis is shifted to how to make things right. The two methods are not mutually exclusive, and certainly Reconstructionism grows out of the critique of the deconstructionist approach. Reconstructionism is primarily a corrective approach that is very sensitive to the inaccurate information and approaches that have been discovered through the deconstructionist phase. An excellent example of a Reconstructionist approach is the work of Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, particularly in the important work entitled They Came Before Columbus. Dr. Van Sertima joins with the deconstructionists in challenging the mythology of a European discovery of America in 1492. The deconstructionists argue that the account of this story fails to take account of the inhabitants who occupied this land and the appearance of the Europeans. It also completely omits the idea that people from Africa had come to this part of the world as early as 700 BCE and afterwards around 1300. Van Sertima brings forth the considerable evidence to substantiate this claim that is so blatantly absent in the Eurocentric description of the founding of America. His approach is Reconstructionist because it begins to introduce new data that is sensitive to the omissions that have distorted history and feeds the process of miseducation. Another example of the Reconstructionist approach is the outstanding work of the Senegalese multi-scholar Dr. Cheikh Diop. Dr. Diop's important work, The African Origin of Civilization, Myth or Reality, challenges the claim that the Nile Valley civilization was built by people other than native inhabitants of Africa, i.e. Black people. In his rebuilding of the story of history, he presents compelling evidence that has been ignored in the European American version of the development of the world civilization, using evidence of the I can't say the word for some reason. Paleontologists, forgive me.
Okay,
I'm on, I got it. It's page 59. 59 up at the top.
okay, that's
Okay.
fine, man.
Using evidence of the paleontologists, linguistic, microbiologists, and a variety of other fields of study, he makes a compelling argument for the human civilization having its origin in Africa and being transported across the Mediterranean into Greece and other parts of the world. Again, this kind of research and scholarship is typical of the work of a Reconstructionist who is trying to develop an educational system that addresses those facts that include African people and the development of civilized life. His work is also typical of the Reconstructionist in that he utilizes a lot of the data that would be compelling to a skeptic European audience. He has to utilize many of the references and the types of concrete imperialistic data that is likely to be convincing to Europeans looking at the world from their point of view. This is another of those instances where the miseducational process, though limited in its contribution to independent African development, it is valuable by informing the African scholar how Europeans are likely to interpret information and what kind of information would be most effective in navigating through barriers that their education has constructed. Basically, Reconstruction is the next necessary phase in the process of learning how to educate ourselves. It is not sufficient to just point out what's wrong in the miseducational system. It is necessary to do the research that begins to set the record straight. As I have noted throughout this discussion, it is not possible to have functional self-knowledge unless we begin to know the facts about ourselves. The Reconstructionist scholar and educator makes a conscious and deliberate effort to dig up the hidden facts and develop a compelling argument that begins to include those critical pieces which have been excluded from the miseducational system. The second phase is also the student's next step in correcting their miseducation. Once the student has been made aware of the flaws and fallacies in the miseducational system by exposure to the ideas of deconstructionists, they must begin to reconstruct and fortify their education by studying the works of the Reconstructionists. Wow, that's powerful right there. And in other words, once we know that our history and experiences have been excluded from the learning environment, we must begin to supplement our learning in order to locate the pertinent information about ourselves. Another important component of the Reconstructionist approach is to operate with the express objective of providing information that will liberate the African American mind. This means that the educational information is intended to provide the learner with an aspiration of understanding of what it means to be a free people, whereas miseducation fosters a dependency on others and disrespect for the autonomy of the oppressed group. The Reconstructionist is committed to develop the ideas that demonstrate the ability of the group to conduct themselves in an independent group among the other independent groups of human beings. They must help the learner to understand that they historically have been capable of doing those things for themselves that ensure survival. Despite their long-term oppression, they are still capable of engaging in independent, self-determined activity. The ability to develop resources, define reality, defines one's community, etc., are some of the rights that all humans possess but cannot execute unless they have been educated into self-knowledge. The ability to break away from many of the practices that were developed under the conditions of slavery can only occur when one has been mentally liberated, which is part of what must come from the information and the techniques identified by the Reconstructionists. Prior to the latter half of the 20th century, there was not a lot of information in this regard, because despite the protest of a few scholars, such as Dr. Carter G. Woodson in the earlier part of the century, the concept of miseducation was not widely accepted. As a result of the civil rights era of the mid-20th century, an increasing number of African American scholars became a part of the ranks of the Deconstructionists. Over the last quarter of the 20th century, the work of the Deconstructionists have both grown and given birth to a large number of Reconstructionists. The combined contribution of the work from these two approaches has greatly expanded the consciousness of the existence of miseducation and the data for a process of re-education. At the end of the 20th century, fewer people will challenge the fact that the Euro-American system miseducates the non-European white descendant people. There are a growing number of people who have been exposed to the kind of information that is leading them towards functional and correct education. There are not yet enough Reconstructionists and even fewer Reconstructionist institutions that can effectively offer an alternative education for this real empowering self-knowledge of African American people. schools such as the Independent African American schools found in Washington, D.C., Detroit, Chicago, and other major cities are still too small and too rare. The African American male academies founded in the 1980s in Detroit and Milwaukee have had astounding success in offering a positive education and self-knowledge, but it's almost too little too late for the thousands of African American young people that we are continuing to lose as we enter the new millennium. Though many of the sources, right place, though many of the sources and the scholars who are Reconstructionists are under attack with the growing swing to the right wing conservatism in the United States of America. These scholars have been very successful in ushering in a new Reconstructionist era. Organizations such as the Association for the Study of Classical African Civilization, the Journal of Black Studies, and the Journal of Black Psychology, and many other documents have effectively dispersed the message of Reconstructionism through the world. There is a growing body of information that presents the Reconstructionist data. Construction. The third methodology.
Hey, you want to pass that one on?
Yeah.
E, you ready or
Yeah. Let me get in on this. You know him?
construction?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
All right, let me get on construction. All right. The third methodology described by Dr. Banks in this development of a self-serving approach to knowledge is the constructionist approach. Excuse me. Wade Nobles also uses the Banks model in his description of the development of the African psychology. Noble suggests that the constructionist approach reflects the belief that work found in the field of African psychology must result in simultaneously promoting the welfare of Black people and advancing the critical growth of knowledge. This approach maintains the objective of the preceding, excuse me, this promotes of the preceding approaches of deconstruction and reconstruction because it remains committed to the conscious and deliberate development of knowledge that promotes the welfare of Black people. This is a clear and deliberate condition for the educational process for self-knowledge that we are discussing. As I have established in the preceding chapters, if the education does not enhance the well-being of the people involved in the process, then we cannot accurately identify it as education. The constructionist approach goes a step further than the preceding approaches, in that it seeks to advance the critical growth of knowledge. This goal does not preclude the work of the deconstructionist, who offers a critique of exclusions and oversights of the existing knowledge base. Deconstructionist critiques offers insight into the inaccuracies in the existing knowledge and invites continued review and discussion of ideas. From this point of view, the deconstructionist approach represents a significant contribution to the growth of knowledge. Knowledge must ultimately expand our grasp of the truth and the identification of untruths, either by commission or omission, as it assists us in our understanding. Certainly, the Reconstructionist approach provides a great contribution to the advancement of understanding by offering new information that has been excluded or distorted in the existing educational arena. In addition to continuing down the path of these earlier two approaches, the constructionist assumes a particular responsibility to develop a synergy that tries to counter earlier errors, remain true to the particular interests of a specific group of learners, and offer a balanced perspective that permits knowledge to grow. God damn it, you ain't gonna be locking me in no goddamn box. No,
Right.
we're gonna grow with this one. We're gonna grow like the goddamn universe expanded. Shit. The
Right.
ideas of Eurocentric education critique through the educational ideas of the deconstructionists. modified by the information offered by the Reconstructionists, and ultimately brought into balance with a more universal perspective offered by the Constructionists offers a holistic contribution to these studies. Excuse me. Turn the page. Cedric Clark, aka Saeed Khatib, in his classical essay found in the first edition of the Jones volume, Black Psychology, states, the task for Black studies, as I see it then, is to describe the nature and limitations of classical social science and, at the same time, develop a framework within modern social science can develop and hopefully flourish. It seems that the role of the constructionist educational approach is very much in the orientation described by Clark. Should I slow down, or can y'all catch? Or can y'all want to stop and discuss something, or just keep going? Keep going.
Keep going. Keep going.
Hello.
Yeah,
Okay.
keep going.
The
Keep going.
constructionist come. Oh, okay. The constructionist comes to the table aware of the problems and provincial or ethnocentric approaches to education, since they have had to master this kind of approach that excluded them in the Euro-American educational system. Such educators are, by their own admission, miseducated. The motivation for their work in attempting to develop an appropriate educational system for Black people is their own miseducation. They are therefore aware of the assets and the liabilities of the existing knowledge. This means that they are in a unique position not only to critique what already exists, but also to build a fair and equitable approach to education that includes them, but does not repeat the errors that gave birth to their condition of miseducation. The constructionists are able to bring something to the arena of ideas that the Eurocentric education does not have, a perspective on the limitations of excessive self-knowledge. The educator who remains with the deconstructionist approach can ultimately only perpetuate the limitations that already exist in the system that they are deconstructing. If the reconstructionists only address their particular, somebody says something?
No, be good.
Okay. If the if the reconstructionists only address their particular presence and role in the world's knowledge, then they will create a mirror image of the
You
Eurocentric
breaking
system
up a little bit,
that
E.
currently focuses.
You breaking up a little bit.
I'm breaking up.
That sounds better right there.
Okay, hold on. Let me reload. I'm good right here.
Yeah, you good right there.
I'm good right here.
Yep.
All right. What did I leave? Where did I leave? Okay, this means that they are in a unique position, not only to critique what already exists, but also to build a fair and equitable approach. Okay, we did that. Miseducation.
Hold on.
The construction.
Slow down a second, E. It sounds like it's garbled a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Okay. Hold on. How about now, bro?
Say something else.
Y'all, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think so.
Hold on. How about now?
Let's go. Let's try it.
You good now? No? No?
Oh, it still sound garbled.
Let me see where we at. Still sound garbled?
It still sounds like it.
Hold on. Okay. Same thing right here, huh?
No, that sounds good.
I'm the same. Y'all still same sound the same?
No, you good right there. You sound
good?
good. You sound good.
All right. All right. The educator who remains with the deconstructionist approach can ultimately only perpetuate the limitation that already exists in the system that they are deconstructing. If the reconstructionists only address their particular presence and role in the world's knowledge, then they will create a mirror image of the Eurocentric system that currently focuses only on the European experience and contributions. The constructionist is able to bring the best from both the Eurocentric and Afrocentric perspectives, while at the same time providing a kind of synthesis that ultimately advances knowledge as a more accurate portrayal of what is truth. What does that mean? Fallacy of describing the founding
Hold on.
and
Back up
development of
again.
America.
Back up again, E. Back up to that sentence you just started. It's garbled again. You're reading
For
so good, but it's
example,
yeah. There you
all
go.
right, okay,
There we
all
go.
right. Well, look, it's probably gonna keep doing that.
Oh, it sounds
I'm
real
gonna go
good.
for example.
Yeah.
For example, you getting me good?
Yep,
You getting me good right now?
I think so.
All right. Well, look, somebody take it from there because I'm in the same spot. I ain't moved, but
Okay.
it's tripping.
Yeah, it's tripping. Just go ahead and read another paragraph and see.
All right. For example, the fallacy of describing the founding and development of America as an exclusive European activity is well critiqued by the deconstructionists. The introduction of information by the reconstructionists that permit us to see the African presence preceding the landing of the Europeans on this continent expands our awareness of what is obviously true. It accounts for the evidence of African presence in Central and South America preceding the coming of Columbus in 1492. The learned vigilance of the constructionists permits them to reflect on the African contribution, but to be careful to include the Native American contributions. It is important to respect the Native American culture as extensions of the great Mayan and Aztec civilizations. What has been dismissed as savagery, primitiveness, or other degrading designations emerges as the aboriginal foundation of what is truly American culture. It also brings to the table of ideas and awareness of the genocidal precedents that led to the establishment of modern America. The possibility of cleansing the USA of this deadly moral flaw in the fiber of its foundation is a critical necessity in order for healing to take place. Despite these critiques, there are no efforts to deny the considerable positive contributions that have come from the European presence in America. This type of analysis can only come from the kind of educational system that is able to see broadly from more than one perspective of self knowledge. Ironically, only those who have gone through the process have been effectively deconstructed, no, through the process and have been effectively deconstructed, have this perspective. Similarly, the constructionist approach requires a critique of the roots of one's real self. The kind of human miseducation that permitted Africans to participate in the enslavement of their own people and to fall victim to the materialistic offers of the invaders must be critiqued. There is certainly much greatness about Africa that must be told in this Reconstructionist education, but much must be explained about the downfall of Africa. Where was the vulnerability, and what role did the limitation of African self-knowledge play in the defeat and victimization of Africa? And European power, if European power was great enough to take us without any resistance on our part, then we need to understand and perhaps adopt, excuse me, I lost my spot, have to adopt the European approach to knowledge. But if there were things in our own human development that were flawed, then the constructionists should help us to better understand those limitations and offer us an arena for greater growth. If we can master these limitations in our own development, then we are best equipped to make some very unique contributions to the development and knowledge for all humanity. It is through the constructionists that new approaches or paradigms are introduced to the field of knowledge. The new approach of education that should emerge from the constructions of Black education should not only enhance the education of African American people, but it should offer some new and more effective models for the education of people in general.
Right.
One example of this possible improvement might be in the area of moral development. As I mentioned in chapter 2, the education of African children has always included moral instruction as a part of the holistic development of people. At a time when when educational systems, wait a minute, at a time when there is considerable concern about the moral development in all children in the educational system, there are certainly concepts from the holistic African paradigm that could benefit all students in the USA. I heard that. This is an example of how a contribution to the overall growth of human knowledge is made from the constructionist approach. Another objective for the constructionists is to offer an orientation and encourage the development of institutions that perpetuate the developing ideas that have come from the Reconstructionists and from their work. The constructionists must be institution builders because they must maintain the independent knowledge base that has emerged from the evolution of their approach. They must have independent institutions that generate ideas, distribute them, and maintain them. The constructionists then must advocate and work toward developing think tanks for the development of new ideas, laboratories for the exploration of these ideas, and publication for the dissemination of these ideas. There must be schools and settings where these ideas can be effectively communicated without the interference of alien funding and controlling forces. Hold on, let me turn the page. So, an important, an important, hold on, my phone is moving here.
Sorry, you sounding good though.
An important part of what the constructionists must, what the constructionists must do is to create methods for generating wealth that will provide the kind of independent funding that will let such institutions exist and thrive. The constructionists must address whatever political, economical tools might be necessary to maintain the self-sufficiency of such independent institutions. Without such institutions, the work of the constructionists is of no significance. It is the constructionists who ultimately must pioneer the new institutions that provide the shelter for the deconstructionists and the reconstructionists who will ultimately be unable to survive in the old institutions that their work requires them to condemn. Many great philanthropists have supported institutions of learning such as universities and settings such as libraries and great museums. These great men and women of wealth understood that their alliance with the constructionists preserved their wealth and power for even unborn generations, because by preserving ideas and education, one is able to maintain power in the perpetuity of one's kind. The constructionists must identify ways that holders of wealth within their own communities will obtain the kind of education into self-knowledge that will make them supporters of such innovative institutions. Unfortunately, most of the non-white holders of such great wealth in the contemporary society have been able to secure their wealth and influence by successfully applying their miseducation. In doing so, they have achieved great influence, but they only perpetuate the power and influence of those people who are responsible for their miseducation. T.D. Jakes and Creflo Dollar are perfect examples, along with many others, but they don't need to change. They don't need to do anything else because they're getting their needs plus some met, period.
Right.
They don't see the significance of having it from an African perspective. There is no perspective other than them getting them jets to fly and things like that. That's the perspective they strive to because they following their oppressor. That's what's important to them. So anyway, I'll keep going.
Yeah, because I'm on that too, man. I mean, it's messing with the food on their plate, their identity. I'm big on identity, man. Personal identity and being proactive in the community or not, and people that don't want to learn this stuff is definitely not interested in the community. They're interested in their own identity, man, and though it be an alien identity.
They think they are. They think
Yeah.
they are. And they'll try to justify and say they'll pretend that they are.
Correct.
Yep. In doing so, they have achieved great influence, but they only perpetuate the power and influence of those people who are responsible for their miseducation. They're not giving that shit up. Some of them aren't giving up. So that's why those won't participate. But you have others who will. I'll keep going.
Yeah, yeah.
These techniques for learning to educate ourselves that we have discussed in this chapter are important criteria for setting up our educational system. Such a system must contain elements that address each aspect of these techniques. Miseducated African Americans and other historically oppressed groups as well must be systematically introduced to ideas that deconstruct their miseducation. The curriculum must have components that deconstruct those concepts that are destructive to one's effective development and empowerment. A part of this technique is to offer an honest appraisal of what is one's self interest. For African Americans, this means that students must know the painful and unpleasant facts of how we came to be Americans and how the majority of our time has been spent in America. This is a violent and barbaric story that probably offends the sensitivities of some who feel that such a story of murder, plunder, rape, and exploitation is not appropriate for the young, even some of the old. How apropos. How about that? Who's
No
telling us
doubt.
that now? We don't want to teach our kids that. To understand this story of America's historical relationship to people of African descent is necessary is necessary to create a context for what constitutes our unique educational needs. Of course, such horror stories are not unique to the African American experience, and this deconstructionist technique is an important part of Jewish education as they learn about their Holocaust experience in Europe that sets a context for appropriate Jewish education. Horrible though it may be, there is no hesitation to describing early and thoroughly what the outcome of Jewish persecution has been. Certainly, there is no reason why people of African descent should not know about the atrocities of their experiences in order to understand the importance of a specific education for themselves. Certainly, for all of the reasons that we have discussed in the preceding chapters, the Reconstructionist approach must bring to bear that special and unique knowledge that leads to certainly for all the reasons that we have discussed in the preceding chapters, the Reconstructionist approach must bring to bear that special and unique knowledge that leads to self knowledge. We must know our unique and special story in order to be effectively educated. And this is the major focus the Reconstructionist approach of the Reconstructionist approach. Certainly, the expansion from our particular story to the universal story for all humanity is the ultimate responsibility that our education must afford. And this becomes the role of the constructionist who begins to integrate our unique experiences into the universal human experience. With our understanding of the universal human experience, there must be a universal standard of what is in fact civilized and morally correct human conduct that goes beyond the standards of any particular cultural context. This is a part of the search for universal truth that is a part of the task for the constructionist. The application of these three techniques opens the doors to learning how to educate ourselves. That's it.
That's good. That's good.
Now we on the
I think
conclusion.
we should. I think we should read the conclusion too, though. It's only like 2
All right.
pages.
I'll take care of the conclusion. You want me to?
Yeah, and then leave a little bit for Gerald to read. I don't want him to get out of it that easy.
All right. Conclusion. The way that people think and consequently how they act is a product of what they know. Hear that? The knowledge that a people receive is a consequence of their education. This discussion has joined the chorus of distinguished thinkers and activists who have argued for nearly 100 years that the persistence of many self-destructive and non-constructive behaviors within the African American community is a result of the kind of thinking that has not been inspired by our self-interest. Dr. Carter G. Woodson, simple little masterpiece entitled The Miseducation of the Negro, has become the classic document that describes the origin of this thinking. Dr. Woodson's claim
that African Americans have been educated out of their own self-interest is a position that has grown in acceptance despite its early rejection by many African American and certainly most European American scholars. Dr. Woodson recognized that the thinking that kept most Americans working to advance the cause of non-African people and systematically sabotaging their own success was the consequence of the kind of knowledge that we had. Perhaps if his call has been heeded in the 1930s when it went out, we would not have spent most of this century chasing ideas that were not our own. The underappreciated but highly successful social and religious, hold on, my bad, man. All right, we got a lot, man. The underappreciated but highly successful social and religious movement directed by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was another powerful example of the call for African Americans to develop self-knowledge as a necessary prerequisite for changing our lives and changing our communities. Though this call and analysis did not come from the academy, as did Dr. Woodson's, it too fell on deaf ears among the majority of African American community and was summarily condemned by almost all of the non-African world. The unprecedented reformations, transformations, and developments that Elijah Muhammad achieved with his work in the Nation of Islam well demonstrated the highly successful consequence of applied knowledge of self. Certainly, this approach and his metaphors were highly unusual, but the foundation of his approach was a definite conviction to be self-determining and committing to the re-education of the African American person. Though he achieved considerable economic success and institution building, the most impressive outcome was the solid and meaningful personal reform that was brought about in the lives of the adherents to Mr. Muhammad's movement. The fact that his movement was able to take destroyed and misdirected lives that had been thrown away to vice, criminality, and personal self-destruction, and to convert those lives to responsible and constructive social contributors with nothing short of miraculous. Though the movement was ideologically and structurally very complex, the fundamental concept that guided everything else in this philosophy was the importance of self-knowledge as the key to transforming human life. This discussion has identified some of the critical elements involved in self-knowledge. I have looked at the ancient directive from the Nile Valley civilization, man, know thyself, and point out the significance of this simple but profound dictum. And that's live right there, man. Know thyself. It's right there, man. Education is identified as the vehicle by which consciousness or knowledge is transmitted. The distinction between training and education being that the latter is successful in formulating a meaningful identity, initiating and learning into other unique human legacy, their unique legacies, all right, and involving them in the formulation of a shared vision. Self-knowledge is not possible until we are clear as to what the self is. The particular understanding of the self from the vantage point of traditional African thought was a key component to our formulation of how to develop this effective and relevant knowledge of self. Anyone committed to the effective improvement of the lives of human beings in general and of African American lives in particular must always deal with the vexing question of, so what? Is the discussion just one that is supposed to be philosophical, entertaining, and provocative, or is it supposed to make a real difference in the social and personal lives of people? The so what question for this definition of education is answered in the description of education as power. It is precisely this education that is described as self-knowledge. This empowers people to influence the environment to produce those necessities that ensure their advancement as a people and heals those disabilities that interfere with this advancement. So what? With a proper understanding of what education is and then the acquisition of that education, we become more than acceptable vehicles for the advancement of other people's objectives, but we cast ourselves in starring roles on the stage of human progress. Want to go? Want me to keep going? What?
Yeah, where Gerald at? Gerald, you on deck?
Yeah, man.
You want to go ahead and read that last part?
Okay. No, man.
Yeah, let's get it. Go ahead. Please.
In the description of the content and process for self-education, I provide specific guidelines for the development of an authentic education system that achieves for disempowered people the same ends that education achieves for people with power. This is not intended to be a document to advance, to advocate for the establishment of an Afrocentric or separatist educational system. It is intended to advocate for a self-determined educational system. From the perspective of a psychologist who is committed to the healing of the collective black mind, I believe that clear concepts are needed to guide our approach to education. I believe that the concepts can be communicated effectively in a reasonable, simple way so that people who are engaged in trying to educate themselves and their children will have some guidelines and criteria for recognizing true education when they see it. The content of such education has been frequently discussed and well researched. The special task of this book is to help us understand why people should be responsible for their own education and what they should do to try to accomplish in this process of developing knowledge of self. As we enter this new millennium, we must be clear that our position must be dictated by our empowerment as human beings. We cannot continue to be reactors or participants in the vision and worldview of people who see us as victims in their world rather than as formulas of a world that places our priorities and perspectives at their top of the human agenda. The experiences of human liberation and challenge that have been endured and overcome by people of color during the last half of this millennium have been preparatory for African people. It has given properly educated African people a perspective of moral, social, and spiritual world leadership that must be included in the continued progress of human beings on the planet. To exclude the perception from the misrepresented and ignored perspective simply moves the world as we know it into a pit of its own karmic destruction. It is for this reason that there is urgency for African people, in particular, to know thyself, and for all of humanity to be committed to the honest knowledge of themselves and of others. And again, this is the conclusion of Know Thyself by Naeem Akbar, and then presented by the Sankofa 180 study group over the period of not too much, maybe a little less, but not too much. Again, not power and not love.
Hey, listen, man. So this whole thing is all about know thyself. This whole book is about know thyself. And this book is telling you how you can get to know thyself. All the steps you need to take. Right? It's right here, man. 5 chapters. That's it. It ain't even this a really small book. 5 chapters, man. Dr. Naeem Akbar. You gotta check it out, family. You gotta go through it, man. You gotta listen to it. You gotta read it. Very, very powerful, packed. 5 chapters packed with power, man. Straight power right there. That's power right there, King. And that little 5 chapters is a whole lot of power. If we could put that everything, and we can implement everything into your life that came out of this book, you understand how powerful you will be, man. To know thyself. Hey, listen, man. We was just going through it. We were just going through it. About how I'm having to possibly homeschool my children, and he made some really good points, man. We are fully responsible for the education of our kids, man, and we're responsible for if they ever become miseducated. We're responsible for that, family. We're responsible for that. And there's no way that you're gonna ever have another people teaching your kids or you about your history. We gotta do it ourselves, man. We can't let nobody teach us our history. It has to be us that teaches our that self-education. We gotta do it, man. we gotta self-educate, man. We gotta educate ourselves, family. Because if we don't, man, hey, it's not gonna be all ours, man. You can't let another people teach you about yourself. Just think about that. That don't add up mathematically. You can't even put that together. So it's up to us, man, to educate our kids, man, and keep them, current, right? That miseducation. It doesn't matter what the European school system wishes to teach their kids. That's their kids. So they're going to teach them according to what they want them to learn. And that's what we got to do. We got to do the same thing. We got to do the same thing. It ain't no different. You can't depend on them to teach your kids about them. No, they're going to teach their kids about about them. And we got to teach our kids about themselves. Know thyself.
Right.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about, man. Know thyself. It ain't about nothing else. Know thyself, man, because see, once your kids know that, once y'all know that, we all know that, our kids know it, ain't nobody gonna trick us no more. We can't be tricked no more. Right? Can't be tricked no more, man. We can't be colonized no more. And that goes by, I'm talking about your mind, body, and your soul. You can't be colonized no more. So I'm just saying, come on, family, let's get this history, let's get this education, let's get this real education, right education, let's get this knowledge. Let's know thyself. That's what we need, man. I mean, anybody else, man? What you think, huh? Unmute yourself, King.
Let me get back over here. I was posting stuff on our page. Yeah, I think it's head on, man. And, I highlighted a few of the writings and the readings that we read and put them on Sankofa too. And, by far, it's not the most outstanding parts of the book, but nevertheless, it's some reference points. So, and we was reading out of chapter 5, the last part, the last chapter of the book, and the conclusion. So, Jamie, maybe you can post the whole thing. I was just trying to post the whole book, the PDF in Sankofa, but I wasn't able to get that. So somebody, Gerald, maybe somebody can post it up in Sankofa and just have it available for somebody to read if they want to.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, good reading, guys, man. You guys read it well too. Thank you, Gerald, for closing out and being willing to do that too, man. So, the education of knowing thyself, man, there's no way you can understand this if you don't get into it. Just coming off the head, off the block, out of what ain't gonna suffice. And so, this is real intricate stuff to implement in lives. I wish I would have been more up on it. And with this whole demo we do, kinetic thought, I believe my perceptions, my movements in life would have changed. And so we have this opportunity for, we can't push it on the grandkids and the kids, without approval from the parents and stuff like that. So, we got to respect that. But hopefully, they come across and this and become interested and want to ask some questions and verify if it's necessary or not for these kids to learn. We know it is, So, these young kids are not immune to good guidance, good information. They're not immune to it. And what I suggest is that, just pass the word on about Sankofa 180 degrees, man, the Facebook group page, and encourage people to come on over and parlay with us, on Fridays and on Sundays, and share what you got, share what I got. When I jumped into this, I wasn't 100 with it either. You know what I'm saying? I thought I knew too much, so now I know more. And I don't like the saying about, the more I learn, the more I don't know nothing. I think that's ridiculous. But the more I learn, that there's more to learn. Yeah, I do that. Go ahead, Gerald.
Yeah, we just appreciate for y'all going over this book with me. You know what I'm saying? The reason that you read a book together is when you're talking, everybody on the same page here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I ain't gonna say know thyself to a lot of other people, and they might know, but they not on the same page that we coming from this book. You know what I'm saying? So, dealing with the book, first of all, is dealing with, before you can get to know thyself, you gotta get through this education. You gotta realize and accept that you've been miseducated. Or you might say, I'm miseducated. And we say, no, that you've been trained. If you've
Right.
been educated and properly educated, it's a different way you act, a different way you move, a different thing about yourself when you got knowledge of yourself. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? So, one thing the book said, he defined what the self is. It's find the meekness of the self. And all of us that read that, we know what we're talking about. I ain't gonna say nothing to somebody else. And if they don't know the find the meekness, we ain't on the same page. You know what I'm saying? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? We talking two different things. So it goes from miseducation and getting that foreign and alien identity out of yourself. But recognizing we all been through it. Ain't nobody who ain't not been through it. So you gotta go through that process.
That's right.
I don't
And
give a fuck
and
who you
study it.
are.
And
You gotta
study it.
go through it. So
That's right.
that was last night when we just went over today. That's the deconstruction. You gotta be deconstructed. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be told on. You know what I'm saying? You gotta tear down whatever you thought education was. Then you gotta go through a reconstruction. You gotta rebuild it up. You know what I'm saying? That has to happen. You know what I'm saying? One thing that when I got into it and read the book and learned about the fundamentals of the self, then the you were saying. That's what I knew, and that's what it is saying. Knowing thyself is the realization that you really don't know. And then that's the process that you gotta go through the rest of your life. Keep building with the knowledge of self. Ain't nobody gonna tell it to you. Ain't no fool for that. You the fool for that. You gotta know. You know, you realize what you don't know, what they haven't taught. You know what I'm saying? Now we got different models. Law Valley, Kemet is the model that we looked at too. They say them motherfuckers had a lot of head. They were never with education and knowledge themselves. Cause look what they knew. Look what they did with it. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
how we know. That's why somebody always trying to say, no, white people did that. Aliens did that. No, we did that when we had knowledge of self.
Mhm.
When you get knowledge of self within the system, you rebel against it. The images that we got up, it let us know we different. Y'all went through y'all American school system, and it wasn't about this shit that I'm doing. Y'all would not tell me about this. This me realizing having a pride in it and then expressing it, showing it, reliving it every night.
Look at
That
that.
lets
I
you
like
know where
that.
my mind at. This what I represent. I ain't got no white images behind me. I got know myself a book behind me. That would let us know that who I am, what I represent. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Connecting to my ancestral self, my tribal self, my spiritual self, my physical self. You know what I'm saying? Put that all together and represent it as one. I don't have no Abrahamic faith. Even with my melanin here, I reject all that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know nothing about that. I'm
I
African. I'm pure. Everything that I live with, besides this language, besides my language. You know what I'm saying? I'm African. I know it. You know what I'm saying? But if you ask me about language, I know when you're inventing it. If you ask me about the alphabet, I know when you're inventing it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't teach me that in school. I learned my ABC, but I didn't learn about the metadata. I ain't learned when you invented script. We the ones who invented it. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm not here, man. I don't know why I went off like that, but that's what I
I
need
know
to
I
hear
know why
from
you
you.
did, and you do
Yeah,
too. Yeah,
Hey, but
you know why
but
you went off like that because it's the science, man. This is what we do, right?
yeah, yeah.
here's a and here's but here's the $1 million pushback right here
Mm-hmm.
because everybody that's in the Abrahamic faith or not feels like they know thyself. They feel like they know who they are. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And you can't tell them that that they don't. So what I'm saying is, if no, so when we say know thyself, yeah, it has to be specified, King. It can't just be left out there broad like that because, like I said, anybody can grab that and apply it to themselves. Whether they know anything about the Nile Valley, if they know anything about the deconstruction, the construction, and the uh,
Reconstruction, huh?
reconstruction, yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? So my thing is this: we have to do better than that. Just to push out know thyself. We have to specify what that really means to us because, like I said, anybody can grab that and apply it. So
So
when
when
you
your
when you
knowledge,
when
to
you
your knowledge yourself is who you are. That's how you are defined. You know what I'm saying? If I ask somebody, who are they? And when you talk about knowledge yourself, right? Somebody on the lowest level gonna say, I'm Gerald Justice. You know what I'm saying? That's who I am. What do you mean? Know myself. I know who I am. I'm Gerald Justice. And so I'm gonna say, all right, peace nigga. We're on the same level. I ain't gonna go back and forth with you. If you tell me you got knowledge yourself, then I say, well, what's your knowledge yourself? And you just tell me your name or whatever. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess you knew, but yeah. No, we ain't on the same level. You know what I'm saying? So, to the level of the knowledge of yourself that you have is what defines your consciousness. So, conscious people throw that around. I know thyself. And if you get the conscious person doing it, you challenge them. And then you see where they at. You know what I'm saying? Usually an idiot not going to even say, they got knowledge themselves. I know myself. You know what I'm saying? So, from my dealings with it, usually somebody, when they throwing back with you that they got knowledge themselves, they either think they hurt this a little bit. You know what I'm saying? One of them areas of your knowledge yourself is dealing with your spirituality. When we get into the Abrahamic faith that I said earlier, any connection with that and knowledge of self, you know, now if they connect with Abraham's faith, they origin of history, origin of man gonna connect to Adam. Right
But I
then,
mean,
come on. Yeah, we ain't on the same level. You ain't
right.
some fairy tale shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm sorry. Like, yeah, know thyself deal with truth.
That's the
Not no
miseducation. That's the miseducation.
Let me
But,
misunderstanding. Right off the
let,
bat.
let, me-
That ain't
but,
nothing with no
but,
truth.
let me
but
like
they
can I
don't
jump in?
believe that though. They're not gonna believe that they miseducated.
Right.
No, they hell no. They think you are.
That's it. Yeah.
They think
They
you
not,
are. They
That's
don't.
right.
I'm claiming to have knowledge of self. They
And
might
they are
have a
too.
measure with me, but
Yeah.
they might not say they have knowledge of self.
Yeah, but
Oh,
they can
they
say that.
claim it. That's what
They
he said.
claim it. They
They
claim
claim
they
it.
got
Yeah,
knowledge
No,
of self.
no,
yeah, they claim it.
I ain't never heard
He
no
said he
knowledge
claims it.
out. You moving in yourself.
They won't,
He
no,
might be
they
trying
won't
to
say it
say
won't
that
come out like that.
in
They
defense of
won't.
me
I
saying
ain't heard
that,
him come out and
but
say it.
I ain't never heard
Yeah,
no
not,
Christian or nobody with no amen is like, Hannah, oh no, they know thyself. No.
Jump
those
in
same
there.
words, but they,
No,
let me
that
say,
ain't their
not in
language.
those
That ain't
words.
even they know my Jesus and they know my God, but no. Now we can talk
Yeah, yeah,
about it in an argument and hear on some the main, but they don't go around doing it. Fuck no. They might say it
yeah.
in the argument.
I see what.
You
Hold on,
saying it.
go ahead.
And you saying it, Eric, or you saying it, Danny. They might say, well, I got nothing to do. But they don't know that all. Hell, fuck no. Knowledge, the first thing they mama tell them, something about wisdom or ignorance, knowledge is hell. That ain't about that. A scripture say something about, I'm not thinking correctly, but when they scripture say something, ignorance is the beginning of wisdom or some old stupid ass shit, I'm fuck that.
Right.
Yeah, they say it though. They say it in different ways, but they may not say it like we say it in knowledge of self, like
Right.
it's being put. But they say they make the same point.
They know
They
who
make the
they
same
are.
point that, and like you said, they think they know who they are. They think we crazy.
Right.
We
Exactly.
retired. They think we don't know what we talking about.
Exactly.
They
And
wait
see,
for us to
this
come
is
around.
exactly. And see, that's why I say that when we speak on it, we have to be specific because it don't include see, not know that knowledge itself, you know, don't include everybody, King. It doesn't. Everybody can't know knowledge, ain't gonna have knowledge itself. It's just not gonna happen, right?
Mm.
But but the ones but knowledge itself in our context, but they in their context they got knowledge itself, and they're gonna tell you they know who they are and they know where they come from, and they
Mhm.
yeah, I come from Adam, right? Here's the miseducation, but this is not. Nevertheless, this is they think you miseducated, right?
Mhm.
That's so it
I see what you're
goes.
saying.
So what we got to do is we have to specify to make it to where they can't make that claim.
They
Let,
don't make that
let,
claim, Amy. You making a
let,
false argument.
let me read this part right here real quick. It says, I have looked at the ancient directive from the Nile Valley civilization, man, know thyself, and pointed out the significance of this simple but profound dictum. Education is identified as a vehicle by which consciousness or knowledge is transmitted. The distinction between training and education being that the latter is successful in formulating a meaningful identity, initiating the learner into their unique human legacy and involving them in the formulation of a shared vision. Self-knowledge is not possible until we are clear as to what self is, particularly understanding of the self from the vantage point of traditional African thought was a key component to the formulation of how to develop this effective and relevant knowledge of self. I think that's what I hear you guys talking about.
Right. I
Mm.
mean,
You
listen,
know,
when Gerald said when Gerald say when
specifying, right?
when Gerald said knowledge of self, we know what Gerald is talking about. We know what he's saying,
Right.
right? We
Mhm.
know exactly what he's saying. And
But
we
this is
know that
saying,
that doesn't include, and it can't include anyone outside of a critical thinker. That's not scripted. Put it like that. That does not have to follow a book, a scripted book,
There you go.
right? Okay,
Right.
right.
Mhm.
So if
Right.
it's not scripted, so just like if we look at this, this is a part. This is a part. This is like almost like a prerequisite to knowing ourselves right here, right? We know that half of people is not going to get past this. But what I'm saying is this, man. What I'm saying is we have to make it, when we say know thyself, I feel like we should make it exclusive, because that way, because listen, whether you believe it or not, they do believe that they know who they are. They believe that. They believe that they know where they came from. They believe that. They know that they know, and they believe the accomplishments, or whatever accomplishments that they accomplished inside that book. They believe that those people are them. So what I'm saying is, they'll tell you exactly who they think they are. Now, and tell you, you know, as far as your questions, they're gonna answer you according to the script.
Mhm. Okay,
According to the
let me
script.
jump in real quick.
Right, right. But
Go
this is
ahead.
what I'm
Let me shoot
trying
this
to
real quick.
say, Jamie. When you say know
Yeah.
thyself, really,
Yeah.
that means that you got the Christian root versus the conscious root, right?
Yeah.
When you say know thyself, Lord, that ain't gonna never be a Christian doing that. That's gonna be a conscious person doing that. It's going against Christianity and all the other ones. You understand? They don't say that. That's what I'm saying. They ain't gonna argue like that's not their thing. That's what my thing is. I would still argue more with somebody who say that don't know themselves, who he might be against Christianity, and he think he into some spirituality, and he say know thyself. They the ones don't know what the fuck they talking about. But I know they ain't a Christian. I know they ain't religious, is what I'm saying.
I don't think that you will be able to walk up to anybody and ask them if they know that self, and they're gonna deny it. They're not gonna deny it. I don't give a damn what denomination they're from. They're not gonna deny that they don't. They're not gonna say, "No, I don't know myself. I don't know that self. No,
They not
no,
gonna
they're not gonna."
declare it,
Peace
no.
gang.
You ain't gonna never hear a Christian declaring know
What?
thyself. Hell no, is my point. So why would they
Okay,
argue
check this
for
out.
it? They don't declare know thyself.
Go ahead, E.
I got some right. I got some right here. It goes something right here for you. It tells just that idea is it's been around. We know the idea because it's been around for a long time. But how they look at it, when I say they, Western thought, Christianity, their concept, knowledge of self in psychology and philosophy refers to the understanding and awareness of one's own thoughts, feelings, beliefs, motivations, and behaviors. And then it breaks it down. What it encompasses: self-awareness, understanding of traits and characteristics, self-concept, motivation and goals, values and beliefs. Why is it important? Personal growth, better decision making, improved relationships. So so yeah, people follow these things of thought. This is in the Western psychological books. So they will come to you and say, "Oh yeah, I know myself. I have read, so and so, so and so, so and so, and I'm aware of myself." Why do you see all these people talking about they want to be in the different these new age this and new age that, and they want to do yoga and get they that's what they believe knowledge of self is, and to some degree it could be. But I know when we say that shit, we are looking at it from an African perspective.
Exactly.
But what he's saying also, but what he's saying also is that the constructionist must connect the dots and make this shit a universal perspective
exactly.
and see
Right.
where you see yourself in the universe. That's what I think he's teaching and he's telling, is that we understand what the deconstructionist has done. That is valuable work. But to go where we need to go, what we should be doing, creating institutions of thought and shit like that, we must be constructing a new paradigm and connecting the dots with us and the universe. We know we done been across this motherfucker everywhere. We see ourselves everywhere we go. We know this. There's no doubt that the things Diop has discovered can be argued ever again, ever. You can't ever come talk about what this dude already done. You can't do it. It's over. Now what? Now what? Construction. We, like you say, it needs to be some sort of way that we connect them damn dots and say, look here, because this is how we can sell the idea and move the idea probably forward. Connecting the dots. It encompasses everyone if everyone came from us. People need to see where they are in this picture. Because once you be excluding folks out the picture to the point where, you know, it sounds different, then they may not be able to palatably accept that shit. But when you put them in a picture in its ugliness and in its glory, put shit in its place, all the pieces. I think that's what he's saying. Now, if I'm wrong, then y'all tell me if I'm wrong.
No, based, look, based on, based on the see when they say that they got knowledge of self, I don't call that knowledge of self. They just say start
But it showed
describing you. They just describing to you, you know, their mom and where their mom come from, and this is what they gonna do to
well,
you,
it breaks down. Yeah.
right? This is this is this.
Beliefs, it's about knowing what you are like, who you are, and it's a crucial aspect of personal growth and development. So they've gathered some information as to where that shit comes from. Don't believe they haven't. So
Yeah,
in the light of that's what they'll throw at you and say some of that nature. Now, any good old Christian can expect and accept all these good old values and say, "Oh, that's me. Well, I do that
but they're not gonna
in the
accept.
name of Jesus. I do it. I do it."
They're not gonna accept that they were
They're gonna say
born
where the shit comes
divine.
from, where it comes from.
They
Or
they're not gonna accept that they were born divine. Uh, uh,
no, they're born in sin, man.
right. And
They're born
so
in
you
sin.
know they're not. You know, so these are the things that would, you know, these are the differences. You know what I'm saying? Your shit, your know thyself is scripted,
Yeah. Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Your
It
know
ain't
thyself
universal. It
is
don't sound like a
scripted.
universal thing. That shit got to be
Mine's
universal.
not.
That no matter what language you speak, it sounds the same. Like you said, it should be no matter where you are on the planet. When, when you speak on this, everybody know what you're talking about, and you know what everybody else talking about because those aspects are universal. Everything that you must know is universal, baby. It's universal. So
Yeah.
how to incorporate that in the term to separate the know thyself or whatever, if you think that need to be separate, I don't know, but it's the way he's saying is that it must encompass all, all that you
Exactly.
know,
Right.
E,
all that you know, all that
can
you
you,
really know.
Eric, can you send me send me a screenshot of the, or a quick, a shot of what you just, that definition you
Yeah,
wrote?
yeah, yeah.
hey,
I
because
sure will.
see,
I just did it from Google.
Send that to me real quick.
hey, because they
Go ahead.
shit is like I said,
I'm
they
gonna,
know
I'm gonna
thyself
send
is
shot.
scripted.
I gotta send in the shot because it's a lot.
You gonna do what?
Okay.
Yeah,
I gotta send it in like different pictures because it's a lot. I do it. But
okay.
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
no,
put it,
All
I'm
right.
just gonna connect it to this post I'm putting up.
yeah, because see, what's gonna happen is when you
All
talk,
right.
when you get to talking about know thyself to a Christian, right? You're gonna end up in the Bible. That's where you're gonna end up at. That
Oh boy.
conversation is gonna end
Oh
up in
boy.
the
Oh
Bible.
boy.
That's where it's gonna end up at. So, but, and you ain't gonna better tell them that they don't have knowledge of it. And so, what I'm saying is, theirs is different. Their idea of it is different from our idea of it. And once we explain it to them, then they're not gonna be like, well, then, I don't know myself like that.
Yeah.
I'm just
That,
saying that's not their thing. So I
Yeah.
don't know what y'all be hollering about they going around hollering they got knowledge and stuff.
Oh, if you start a conversation with a Christian about knowledge of self, your whole conversation is about your conversation is going to start out about knowledge of self, and then you say you give your synopsis of what knowledge of self or what you have, your knowledge of self, right? When he gets done with his, you're gonna end up in the Bible. You're gonna end up in the Bible.
Look, I know a Christian ain't gonna talk to me about knowledge of self. That's not their lane.
No, but if the yeah, they're trying to talk to you. Like I said, they're
Yeah,
gonna give you that you're gonna end up in the Bible.
y'all saying that Christians are going around saying they got knowledge of self. I'm saying y'all
No,
lying.
not going
No,
around saying. I'm just saying.
Man, what are
I'm
y'all
saying,
talking about?
no, I'm
Paul was a
saying
Christian. He wasn't going around saying he had knowledge of self.
who?
That ain't what I was a Christian. I never said that. That ain't
No,
our
you're
lane.
not. No, I said, listen, if the conversation was to come up, you have a conversation, a topic is know thyself, and you're talking to a Christian. Your knowledge of self is not the same as his knowledge of self.
I ain't having no knowledge of self conversation with a Christian. Is what
Oh,
you
okay,
misunderstanding. That
okay,
ain't happening.
because it ain't gonna be the same.
That ain't their realm. They'll tell you no hard. What are you talking about? Know yourself? That's a sin to let you, or you think you're my Lord, they say no hard. Not know thyself.
You gotta
What
learn
y'all
less of you. You
talking
gotta
about?
learn less of yourself.
Yeah, you been know that alone. What do you know about hard? Not about know thyself. They, man. Come on. Come on, man. Yeah. But you will have that conversation with somebody who think they got knowledge themselves. That's when we gotta put it on with them. I agree with what y'all saying. I just don't agree that it me with a Christian. I knew I wouldn't with it. And that ain't gonna never me with no Christian. That right now, you know. They put themselves up. Whenever we gotta explain ourselves about knowing ourselves and I and the creator are one. They don't like that language.
Sure
They
don't.
don't want none of that. They don't want you saying you what? You what? You in the what? No, that must be they pass away, so it ain't no knowledge of self, it's knowledge of scripture. Yeah, they might have a book called knowledge of scripture. No, not scripture. Yeah, that might be that motherfucking book they read. No, not scripture. But they ain't reading no thyself. Hell no, they ain't reading this. No.
I got you, E.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hey, listen, man. So like I said, man, I think that we need to be people. I think yeah, people would definitely can grab that and apply that to themselves, man. But half the people don't even know what that entails. You
Well,
know what I'm
y'all
saying?
remember when we had our first conversation? That's how I came in mess with y'all. Right off the mat. Remember? And I was like, well, how do you identify yourself? No, I tell you, I don't identify with myself. It's the end of that. If you talking about know thyself, what are you talking about? You know, what self are you talking about? You know, when you get into
Got it. You got my boy going over there. You know, got my boy going over
with
there.
the bar, the different aspects of the human chemistry, with the bar and the fire and the air and the, what number we on? When we start talking that number. And what I'm saying, y'all wasn't Christians. Y'all was not Christians, or we'd have been fighting. Y'all was on a whole different level. You understand what I'm saying? I could have came in that messing with y'all about that. I wouldn't have still been here. That would have been my last motherfucking day in y'all little funky ass room.
You would have been one and done, huh?
Y'all wouldn't know that.
You ain't about that 3-1, huh?
No.
Hey, hold up just a second. Hey, E.
Yo,
Hey, so I'm gonna put a question
yo,
up
I'm
on
there.
I'm gonna put a question up on up on Sankofa. Can you just post that whole
Okay.
joint in the comments instead of breaking it up? Can you just post it in the comments?
I can post a link to it.
Okay, bet. That's
It would
it.
be
That's
like
all.
it's just because I don't know how. Because it's just
Just
like
to just
it's
just to
long. You
link
know what
it.
I'm saying? It's like
Yeah, I feel you.
yeah, like a
That's
Google
that.
search. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, just post a link in there.
I just like a Google search. You mean like a?
Yeah, you do wherever you
I
got
could
this
try to
whole.
I could share it
Yeah, just put
because it
the
was just when I was just the
I
first
know.
page is the one that's highlighted.
Okay. Okay. Just if
Like
if you
maybe
can
let me
just if you
see.
can just put the link in there, that's all I'm saying.
Hey, family, if you could just,
I could try to.
I just stop by,
Let me see. Let me
come on,
see. How
stop
to do
by,
this.
kick, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Unc, I want you to tell me what these people look like to you, man.
They look like
I don't even know how to spell it.
they wrong turn, man.
Hey, what happened to this? Look at that. Look at that. There's another one right there. Look. What happened? Now,
That's
where the
that's
fuck they,
that's
now, what
that's
did I
that
see? There you go.
that's
They starting that, they starting.
Man,
that's Adam and Eve's effect, man.
damn.
They starting. You see that?
The fuck was that, man? What the
Huh? I'm just telling you, they
hell?
starting. Look, they starting, King.
Dude.
I'm telling you, they starting. Now they out here. They out here. Now they starting to be accepted now. Yeah, man, this shit finna start. This shit finna get crazy, King. Look at that. Look at that. What the hell is that? The fuck? What's going on, man? No, man.
Man,
Hey, man. And
crazy,
they at a
man.
party. They
I hope that's some
partying.
AI shit.
No, they drinking.
I
They
hope the hell that's some
somebody
AI.
finna have some kids with them.
I hope the hell that's some AI shit.
No, man, that's
God
straight up.
damn.
We know them folk. We know folk like that.
Hey,
Adam and
man,
Eve
listen.
folk.
Hey, they gotta no. You must didn't.
God
Man,
damn.
hey, listen.
No, man.
Huh?
That's some shit, oh man.
Huh? I'm telling you, they
Man.
out. Hey, y'all think I'm bullshitting? Y'all think I'm bullshitting? They out here. They out here deep. They out here. Motherfuckers don't even know.
Man.
They out here. They
Hey,
motherfuckers don't even know.
man.
Yeah.
Remember when you were saying we gotta define on ourselves?
Yes, sir.
I've been putting this book out. I went through a whole process of doing other questions, and I've been putting that shit out on the thing. You with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm different when it say know thyself. I used to say it all the time before anybody, but I always had this information out since 2013. Now,
Yeah.
this is not my information. This not even Akbar information. He been had the book out since 2000. But when I say know thyself, and I don't know nobody else, I don't hear my but when I say it, I know how to define it, and I know how to show people exactly what I'm talking about. We done went over it, we done made these videos for it, so people, and then I don't hear what everybody else saying when they say know thyself. And again, I'm not being arrogant. I'm on studying my teachers. You know what I'm saying? This was
Mm-hmm.
something that was put up in Hemet. The people in Hemet said know thyself. So I'm being arrogant because I know my shit. And I done it and I done put in the work. And if anybody wanna say, come up with what you know thyself means, I got a blueprint for what I know what it means. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
right. That's right.
and we all, I'm not saying it me, we all done read it. We all a part of it. We all know what we saying, but not then we done it. We done read the book. We need that. I'm not just saying no more. We never done put in the work to say we know what know that stuff means. We ain't just read
Yeah.
no AI definition, we ain't read no whatever. We need more than that. We got into what it needs. We done it. We dealt with questions. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
right.
I feel that I'm qualified to say I know what know thyself. I'm working on it, but I damn don't know what it fucking means.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Hey, no,
Yeah.
hey, yeah, that's no question. No
Yeah.
question. I'm just saying, you could ask the average person though, they're gonna say, yeah, I know myself.
Yeah, they throwing it around lightly. What I'm saying is, I'm not. They might be throwing it around thinking they know what it means. I know what it means, and I'll stand on their ass on it. You know? Well, yeah, I'll stand on them.
Yeah. Uncle,
That's
you
why
sharing?
if they
Yeah.
claim to know,
Okay.
if they claim to know themselves, I'll ask them what the fuck they mean. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Find something here.
we all able to do that after reading the book. Here, we done took 2 months to know it. Hey, they know it.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah,
So I just
somebody
put,
here, they know something about it. You know what you done been through when your people are like mine. So make that on it too. You know what you know now. Yeah.
yeah, and if it ain't coming from an Afro-centered mind, and out of that, and not out of that shotgun book, I don't even want to fuck with it either. But I put this up on Sankofa. What do these two items mean to you? Where are you, and what do you look like in the picture? Knowledge of self and know thyself. So that's it. That's Eric. That's where I was asking you to put um, that Google search. And then I put one over in Christian verse consciousness too, but
I just tried that. I didn't have no luck other than a screenshot. You mean like a screenshot? That's about it.
yeah, that's good. Whatever you want to put up there, man. That's why I just put it in there in case somebody just wanted to comment on instead of just talking about it. Then maybe on Friday some of these texters, professional texters will show up on Friday and we can talk about it. We can have like a
Definitely show
mature
up, man.
we can have a mature conversation instead of texting.
They ain't gonna do that.
Well, they might. Somebody might fall through
I
one
mean,
time.
the cool thing is we're not live on Friday, so I mean,
Yeah.
won't nobody see you get beat up or see you perform. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Not beat up, but whatever it is.
Yeah.
Won't nobody see. Hey, E, you don't know you don't remember these people here?
That's some people he crossed the border with.
E, you don't remember these people right here?
Is built next door? Show me the house next door. Take me over there. Show me this.
Yeah, that's all he's saying.
Very nice. You got a new car too? You got this too? Yeah. Nice. Who's staying here?
Someone who stay there, right?
Larry, is this the car you got?
Something went wrong, bro.
Is this the car you got?
Huh?
Something went
Oh,
wrong.
the truck.
Well, what they doing? They was fucking around. They had no business fucking around. See?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
something
that
went wrong.
shit they
All
did
right,
on
well, we can help you
themselves.
with that.
Yeah, exactly.
I've become like your new lifeline.
Yeah.
I understand. That's all right. That's all right. How have you guys been?
Okay.
You look great.
When we did me doctor days, we doing okay.
You survived winter. Spring's coming.
Yeah, I know.
What that bad?
What are you showing me?
I can't wait working.
What's over there? Show me. You want to take me?
Hey, hey!
Hey, Kenneth.
How's that, Mark?
Good. So you're staying next door.
Yeah, how about that one?
That's great.
Fine now.
That's nice. So what have you guys done with some of the money I gave you? You got a new roof.
No, you're wrong.
The roof looks great.
Put your side around the house,
You got siding?
except for the front porch.
Yeah, I don't even recognize.
Hey, look,
Yeah,
I'm,
that's them wrong terms, man.
so I'm just saying, and I ain't trying to exploit them or tease them or nothing, but you know, I'm just saying, King, we got a lot of shit going on around here, man. A lot of shit going on. But anyway, family.
Hold up 1 second. Hey, Gerald, you got a short join on Black August. You got time, Jamie?
Huh?
You got time to show a video on Black August if Gerald got one? Or you got to get going?
Well, I do got to get going though.
Okay, no, we can do that later then. It's all
Yeah, I gotta
good.
get off real quick.
Okay,
I gotta go ahead and
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, you got to handle that business, man. It's quite appropriate.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah, man.
good. So to make sure you guys, anybody that's driving by watching this, and feel free to share our content with anybody, anywhere, anytime. It don't matter. Just use it up. We're not asking for no PayPal. We're not asking for no Venmo, no none of that stuff, man. We ain't even asking that you ask permission from us. You use our stuff how you feel you need to use it. And come join us sometime on Friday or Sundays. Remember, the first Sunday of every month is dedicated to the children. They're trying to eliminate the proper education for these kids, man, and teach them that that Black people benefited from slavery, and on and on and on, man. So, it's just getting real wild. So, come on over to Sankofa and get a taste.
Yeah, man. Come on by, man. We don't bother. We ain't gonna bother nobody. Hey, yeah, like, subscribe, share, man. Give us a comment. Tell us what y'all think, fam. Um, and don't forget, man, first Sunday every month, man, we do the children's book read, man. We doing, we do a lot of history, reading a lot of really good books, African centered books, um, about, us, people that look just like us, you know what I'm saying, and their accomplishments, you know what I'm saying, and struggles, um, and just show you a lot, that our history didn't start with slavery, family. We got a really rich history that happened long before slavery, and we just want you to see it. We just want you to see it. Want you to see it, what it looks like, and we'll walk you all the way from maybe 4000 BCE, and we can walk you all the way to 2025 AD. All right. Um, so, with that being said, family, like, subscribe, share, uh, give us a comment, let us know what y'all think, and go ahead, Unc.
Yeah. Am I still sharing? No?
No,
Okay, good. I just wanted to, let me just get something here real quick. So I just want to read something out of the Know Thyself, man, just to close out.
sure.
That's a long one. Hold on. So this says another objective for the constructionist is to offer an orientation of encouragement and development of institutions that perpetuate the developing ideas that have come from the Reconstructionists and their work. The constructionists must be institution builders because they must maintain the independence knowledge base that has emerged from the evolution of their approach. They must have independent institutions that generate ideas, distribute them, and maintain them. The constructionists then must advocate and work towards developing think tanks for the development of new ideas, laboratories for the exploration of these new ideas, and publications for the dissemination of these ideas. There must be schools and settings where these ideas can be effectively communicated without interference of alien funding and controlling forces. So that's out of the 5th chapter of Naeem Akbar's Know Thyself. Gerald, thank you for putting us up on this, man. And E, thank you for always keeping us in the books as well. Jamie, you already know what it is, my dude, all day.
Hey,
Yeah,
can you
man.
name a constructionist?
Sheikh Anta Diop, that's a reconstructionist.
Yeah. We only had really kind of two major ones in here. One was Elijah Muhammad.
Right,
He had his own little independent thing going on. Even though it was a little religious in nature, he still had his own little thing in America. And the other one was Martin Garvey. And they got Martin Garvey ass up out of here.
right. And both of them are mentioned in the 5th chapter as well as throughout the book.
Yeah, they was millers. They milked different things. You know what I'm saying? The main way that when we deal with people, mostly we deal with, and most of the time we kind of dealing people dealing with the spirituality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So most people that we might come in contact are just basically in the deconstruction process, right? They tear down religion. They tear down whatever one they in. They tear it down. You with me?
Right,
And they ain't got into the rebuilding thing in the find out what you is. All right, you done milk down. You done told out what you not. But what are you? And that's when you gotta rebuild. You know what I'm saying? Get into it. If we was into construction of this, and what we were doing, we would be building somewhere for us to go to on Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
say that last part again.
Like we would have our simple spiritual institutions where Semitic people or people with the Nile Valley civilization where we would go to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We ain't built them yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, when people in the deconstruction thing, you would think that they don't believe in God. You know what I'm saying? And they just turn down, and the people on the side be like, what? You must not believe in God. And you just turn down this Christianity. What you believe in? You tear down Islam. What you believe in? You tear down, Judaism. So the reconstruction thing is us wearing our oaks,
Right.
wearing our Semitic stuff and whatnot to show us we do got something. You know what I'm saying? We don't got that reconstruction what we got, but we ain't got the institutions yet. You with me?
Mhm.
We ain't got the Semitic African divine institutions here in America yet. You know what I'm saying?
But they mentioned one in some constructs in
Detroit
Detroit and
and
Chicago.
Yeah,
Right,
you might,
but what they also said was it's few and far in between. You know, it's
yeah.
a little too late and not enough backing power in it, right? So when you say that there's no construct, I think that's limited. I think that there is some construct. You might have to correct that with me. You know, I mean, you might have to
Well,
correct me
yeah,
on that or not. I mean, I see construct. I just don't see the strength and uh, I don't see the impact that we're looking for.
right. It ain't,
But
uh,
but let me just say this. But to say that there's no construct relating, I think that just limits. I think it diminishes the efforts that was put forth by some of these people that did put some work in.
No, it's just when they define that the construction, they on new levels. They really never need it. That's what I'm saying. We ain't had too many of them. When they
Right, right.
mention goddamn Martin Raleigh, he had milked some of the millions off when they put him in jail and they sent him out when the UNIA and all that now. That was a nationwide little thing. Even
Right, right.
a universal thing. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it got shut down. Almost look like when you think of the NAACA. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying? And they got chapters in all over the country. You know what I'm saying? But that's an American, it's not an African, you know what I'm saying? It's not
It ain't
that
even
much
Afro. It ain't even
Yeah,
Afrocentric,
right. Yeah, you
right?
understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it
yeah.
gotta be on that level where all around the country before they consider it a constructionist. And that's how me they think. That's what I'm saying. They think
Yeah,
of
yeah.
not just me and my own. So we
Right.
got examples. Yeah, we got the Black Madonna Church, which is an African Senate, you know what I'm saying? But it's maybe one or two of them, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
and
Yeah,
not to take away of how great it is. You
right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
Yeah, I'm
that's all.
not
That's all I was saying, right?
Yeah,
And I know that's what you was getting across, but I just wanted to
yeah,
specify that. That's all.
mm-hmm, yeah. Um, when we try to renewal the receipt, we on the reconstruction and reconstruction level. You with me?
Yeah.
When you went through a journey, was the reconstruction first, and now we reconstructing. You with me?
Right, right,
The evidence of the reconstruction is how you showing the stuff, what you got on, your background, you know what I'm saying?
right,
That's showing you reconstruction, you know what I'm saying? But when y'all went through that first, he was reconstructing you.
right, right.
Yeah,
Ain't no doubt.
yeah,
Ain't no doubt.
yeah. And that's the process that we got. We have this room open for a reconstruction and reconstruction process if people will come in.
I was still going through the same. I was going through it at the same time. Same time you was
Mm,
going through it, I was going through it too.
mm,
Let me read about the deconstructionists.
mm,
Just to put the names out there mainly. The deconstructionists must address these limitations in traditional European American education. Many African and African American thinkers, such as Molif Asante, Yosef Ben Yakinen, John Henry Clark, Sheikh Anta Diop, Asa Hilliard, John G. Jackson, Mulana Karinga, Wade Nobles, Ivan Van Sertima, Chancellor Williams, and many others have consistently addressed the historical omissions that have excluded us from the world stage. The Europeanizing and the whitening of Africa, particularly the Nile Valley civilization, has been a major point of interest in these discussions. The deconstructionists have attempted to discard those distortions of history, which have failed to address the contributions of the African people. Similarly, the early deconstructionists from the first half of the century, such as Carter G. Woodson, I.A. Rogers, George G.M. James, and others sought to point out the African people that had been omitted as contributors to human progress. So I really just read that to identify who is a deconstructionist, and because you guys are describing what takes place in deconstruction.
That was the first book that gave us our knowledge of self. The deconstructionists was first. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't read them books, you know, That's what destroyed all that image of who America is and blah blah blah, that they did all this and did all that. You know, that other people had contributions. You know what I'm saying? So then you got the level of getting to it and really learning about, you know, what our people were doing. You with me? First you talk about that ain't shit. Then you go relearning. Then you got some people after they relearn it, they gonna kneel. It ain't many of us. You know, I'm just a relearner. I ain't milk shit, you know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And I'm happy and not most of our scholars. They ain't milk nothing. They just trying to read it, they either tear it down or they trying to tear it down and retell you something. They looking for the next generation to reveal from learning from them.
Right, right.
You with me?
To have some
Yeah.
construct.
Right.
Right, right.
If we understand and really grasp what we're doing, then they say there are million institutions. You hear Umar trying to do it, but he not, you know what I'm saying? He don't be a part of it. And then, okay, I get it. I understand. I had to build my own rules. But, you know, it's a scam and him. It's a bullshit in him, too, you know. It's just like, right. Somebody else needs to do it. I'm just
Yeah,
saying. And I like Umar. I was rooting for him. I'm not trying to lie. I was rooting for him. But whatever the shit he's doing, that's bullshit. You know
Anthony
what I'm
Browder
saying?
doing a good job though. He doing a good
Right,
job with his business
right,
stuff. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
And his
yeah.
daughter, you know what
Yeah,
I'm
and his
saying?
daughter all day.
Mhm.
Right, right.
Eric, what you got on that?
I agree with Joe. I agree with what you're saying. But it's all. Anthony Browder's where he needs to be. He understood the assignment and he's doing it. As constructionists is where we are this era. We need to create these environments. We created an environment ourselves that we can begin to teach this information. So we are constructing. This is an avenue. They
Right.
come here, come to Sankofa, they're gonna get it. So we're creating that avenue to start the demiseducation process. It's happening now. You're a part of it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
you're constructing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We call it building. What's the
Exactly.
difference?
Yeah.
Right.
Because when me and you was at it, I was at it too.
Yeah, I heard you. I heard you, man. No doubt about it.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
I was at it too.
Let's get Jamie up out of
Well,
here, man. Let's get
well,
Jamie up out of here so he can
yeah,
tend to
Yeah,
them
yeah, man.
babies.
So look, man, yeah, I'll hit y'all up, man, this week. See what's going on. Hey, did you get a chance to look at that video I sent you? Oh,
No, we're getting ready to watch it right now, though.
okay.
Before I go take a dip.
Yeah.
what
Okay,
video
King.
is send it to me.
Okay.
You got it?
All
I'll
right,
send it. I'll send it to him.
All right.
all right,
Yeah. I'll
All
send
right,
it to you.
man.
I'll send it
peace.
to you. E.
Okay, okay,
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
All right,
All
man.
right,
Y'all be
one,
easy, King. I'll see y'all this week.
Like,
show,
subscribe, and
show.
hit that share button. Share it with
That's
somebody.
right, family. Like, subscribe, share. Tell us, give us a comment. Let us know what y'all think. And we finna get out of here, family. We love you.
All right,
And
peace.
and peace to you.
Peace.